Speaking of good looking, who's the guy in the blue shirt with no facial hair?
I know, and a haircut.
I know.
Nice haircut, Kevin.
Wrong blue shirt.
I think this is the most staff we've had in months on with the Zoom.
The ones that we haven't seen before just missed us.
We'll see how long it lasts, Mayor. We're getting a call right now.
Mm.
Ready on my end, Madam Mayor.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We are now called to order. Roll call, Monica.
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Here.
Councilwoman Mattson,
Here.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Here.
Councilman Peterson,
Here.
Councilman Bell,
Here.
Councilman Costello,
Here.
Councilman Carlson.
Here.
Thank you. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray with me. Father God, the Bible tells us that if we seek you for wisdom, that you will provide. So my prayer for these people is that as they gather tonight to lead and to serve our community, that you'd give them wisdom, give them ears to hear the needs of the people, give them eyes to see needs that are unspoken, and give them hearts, hands, and the provision needed to meet those needs and to serve well. I thank you that each of these people is willing to serve, and I just pray that you bless them as they do it. I pray all these things in the powerful name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Agenda changes, we have none. Public appearances, introductions, and presentations. We have Katrina Hinkle from the Downtown Association.
Good evening, everyone. I just would like a moment of your time to talk about a project that the SDA is working on right now. So if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and share my screen. So can you all see that?
Nope.
Nope, it's the screen is black.
Okay, let's try that one. Can you see that?
Yep, we got it.
Perfect. So we are working on a historic Selah virtual guided tour. Let's see if I can get it to advance. Sorry, there we go. A portion of our job is to tell the story of Selah and preserve our history. We would like to propose wrapping utility boxes pictured, creating a virtual walking tour of historic Selah. Each box would be wrapped in a historic photo such as these in sepia tones with a QR code. And you'll see there's QR codes in the upper corner of these pictures. As an example, that would take the tourist to a page on the SDA website explaining the picture they're looking at or viewing. And we plan to cover topics such as how Selah was named, our early economic focus, and how Selah Community Days started. The website would then show a map of where the other wrapped utility boxes can be found, creating a virtual walking tour of historic Selah. The finished utility boxes would look similar to this. They would be vinyl wraps with a finish that protects against UV and makes graffiti easier to clean off. You can see these wrapped utility boxes all around Yakima. They began wrapping them over 5 years ago, and to date, they have not needed to replace any of them for weatherization or vandalism. And so the QR code would take the tourist to a website that looks similar to this. So it's an original picture and it's a quick blurb about what you're looking at. So in this situation, it's Selah's early economy, which was agriculture. Still a large part of our economy. There will be a link, as you can see in the bottom left corner, that will take you to a map of the other locations and even maybe a little route to show you how to get there. So what we're asking, our goal is to have at least 3 of these done before Hot Rods on 1st and Sip and Stroll on June 19th. We have funds allocated from our Main Street Tax Incentive Program proceeds to cover at least 3. We've applied for a grant. If we're chosen, we'd like to do closer to 5 of them with a long-term goal of covering all of the utility boxes in the downtown area and telling more and more of Selah's story. WADOT and Pacific Power is requesting that the City of Selah sign a waiver agreeing to the maintenance and replacing when needed. The SDA would then sign an agreement with the city assuming that responsibility for the maintenance of the wraps. The SDA is asking for Mayor Raymond and the City Council's approval for Public Works Department to sign off on these waivers and for the SDA to proceed with the project. Are there any questions?
So Katrina, are you asking for a vote of the council? Is that correct?
I am asking, so WASDOT sent a letter to Mr. Henney asking for his signature, and we weren't quite ready to present this yet. So here we are. We want to just kind of talk about what's going on.
Okay.
WASDOT and Pacific Power are asking for signatures. We're asking for the city to please go ahead and allow Mr. Henney to sign those. And then we would be willing to sign an agreement with the city to maintain those.
Okay, so Mr. Wayman?
Madam Mayor, there's no need for the council to take a vote on this. I believe a decision from the mayor's office is adequate for this.
Okay, all right.
So we're really just presenting tonight to kind of talk about, it's going to be kind of a bigger project for us. And we just wanted to talk to you about it, make sure there aren't any concerns, and answer any questions before we move forward, and with permission.
I think it looks great.
Thanks. If there's no other questions, and I can get your approval, I can excuse myself and you guys can get on with your business.
Okay. Well, I don't, council seems to be good. We talked earlier about the maintenance of it and the care of what would happen if they got vandalized. And I think you've got that covered pretty good.
For the record, for the council, the SDA, Katrina, as well as Lisa came by and talked to the mayor and I, and there are really no issues with regard to the staff being able to maintain the boxes, clean up any graffiti if necessary. It's really has negligible impact on city operations.
In fact, we're paying extra for a finish to protect those wraps from UV and to make it easier just to wipe the graffiti off so that the longevity is there.
I'm good, Katrina. I think that you have my blessings. I think this is great for the city to, to have that out there to keep the history alive.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yep.
Not a ton else going on. We have cleanup day coming up. The SDA is going to do a rummage sale. If anyone's got any junk they want to bring me, I'll put it out in the rummage sale. And it will benefit our design committee, who is responsible for projects like these wraps, like the planter boxes, like all of the grants that you see. And so please reach out to me if you'd like to contribute. Other than that, it's business as usual.
Do you have a date for that sale?
Yeah, we are shooting for a cleanup day of June or May 15th and a yards or the rummage sale of May 22nd.
Okay. All right. Rush, you had your hand up.
Just wanted to comment that the SDA did award some grants, some beautification grants that were not haven't been accepted yet by the recipient, so we're not divulging that, but those decisions were made.
We do have 2 facade grants that were accepted. Sorry, Russ. The Outskirts accepted and KGG investments accepted for the Pizza Hut building. And we do have a couple of more grants that are out there not accepted yet, but we were going to wait and just present them all at the same time.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Getting to know our business, we have none. Communications. Mr. Case.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are presently conducting the regular meeting portion of today's session. State law does not require a non-charter code city such as the city of Selah to allot time for public comment during a regular meeting between the mayor and city council. Historically, the city has chosen to allot time for public comment during its regular meetings, subject to a maximum of 2 minutes per commenter and common sense standards of decorum. Recently, those standards of decorum have been increasingly infringed. Those wishing to offer public comments during a regular meeting must comply with the following process and standards. Each commenter must state his or her full name and whether he or she is a registered voter residing within the city limits of Selah. Each commenter is limited to 1 comment and a maximum duration of 2 minutes per regular meeting. A maximum of 30 minutes per regular meeting will be allotted for all public comments. Comments must be constructive and respectful. No profanity, insults, defamation, or direct or implied personal attacks will be allowed. Criticism of city policy is allowed, but personal criticism of any individual is not allowed. The public comment process is not a question and answer process. Also, each commenter should speak solely for himself or herself rather than purporting to speak on behalf of others, repeating verbatim or nearly verbatim what another commenter has said, or repeating what a written document says. In-person comments will be heard from the podium in the order offered by commenters, and during the COVID shutdown, written comments will be read aloud in the order received by city staff, and telephonic comments may also be heard. The mayor may cut off any in-person or telephonic comment that he or she deems inappropriate, and city staff at the direction of the mayor may disallow or modify any written comment that is deemed inappropriate. These standards are subject to revision. Those who infringe the applicable standards may be barred from offering public comments during future regular meetings. Public comment during regular meetings is not the exclusive method to communicate with the mayor or city council on any topic. People may send emails or letters, leave voicemails, or request in-person meetings to or with the mayor or any member or members of the city council. The mayor and each member of the city council has personal discretion over how and when he or she might respond to emails, letters, voicemails, and requests for in-person meetings.
Thank you. We are now open for public comment. Monica?
Madam Mayor, there were no public comments submitted.
Thank you. We are now closed for public comment. Written, we have none. Proclamations and announcements, we have none. The consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion without discussion. Should any council member request that any item on the consent agenda be considered separately, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and become part of the regular agenda.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Russ, seconded by Cliff. All those in favor? Raise your hand. Opposed? Monica, please read the consent agenda.
Approval of minutes, March 23, 2021 council meeting, and approval of claims and payroll.
Thank you. Public hearings, we have none. General business, or new business, we have none, and old business, we have none.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Roger.
under new business, I would like to make a motion that
Okay,
on behalf of the Law and Justice Committee, that the council allow the committee to recommend 2 citizens be appointed, recommend to the mayor that 2 citizens be appointed to work on that committee. Also, to provide a transparency to the committee and input from the community.
okay. I think that's a great idea, Roger.
I second.
Who was that?
Cliff.
Did somebody say something, Cliff? And what did you
Yes, I
say?
second.
Okay, so Roger has asked that we have 2 community members put on the committee for the Justice Center, and Cliff has seconded it. All those in favor of doing this, raise your hand if there's no discussion about it. Okay, opposed? Okay, and Roger, you are going, your group is going to pick these, right?
Yes, we'll meet. We've discussed this for several reasons that it'd be beneficial now to do this, and we've kind of discussed some potentials, but it's not appropriate to discuss those tonight because we have not contacted anyone and we had no permission from the council to do that. So, but that is correct. We would recommend citizens back to you as mayor to
Okay,
be appointed to participate on that committee.
all right, thank you. Resolutions. Chief Chrisman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hello, Council. This is a little tardy, but you'll remember back in March, my deputy chief chose to retire. And after 25 years of service, it's been a history of the Selah Police Department to provide a service weapon to the retiring officer who leaves under good standing. And Deputy Steen certainly did. And so the resolution in front of you tonight is to approve his duty shotgun, which he carried for his time here at Selah, to give to him upon his retirement.
Madam Mayor, I make a
Yes,
motion to approve the resolution declaring police service weapon surplus and authorizing disposition of the same as additional consideration for service provided.
all right, thank you, Jackie.
Kevin,
Mike?
second.
Was that a second by Kevin? Okay, so I have a motion to approve this by Jackie, a second by Kevin. Roll call, Monica?
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Peterson,
Yes.
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Costello,
Yes.
Councilman Carlson,
Yes.
Unanimous. Thank you. N2. Mr. Henning.
Yes, thanks, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Council. N2 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a task order between the city of Selah and HLA Engineering and Land Surveying to provide engineering and land surveying services for the wastewater treatment plant facility plan. We talked about this, a while back, and what this does, this is authorizes HLA to put together a plan under the terms of the Department of Ecology under our permits and to provide the required facilities preparedness plan, which is will list. It's a mini wastewater treatment plant report. It's what it is. It's an engineering report, and it describes the existing plant, the operating conditions, the loadings, and then it turns around and will put together a scenario of what a new plant would probably wind up costing versus trying to retrofit and update portions of the plant to allow it to continue operating and to provide for increased loadings or increased flows to the plant. So we want to put this together. The task order is attached to your packet, and it describes what items will be accomplished and what items will be part of the plan in preparation for that. Really, that's about it. The cost of the plan is going to be $89,000, and it'll take a year to put the report together and submit it to ecology and get comments back. And then you guys will be asked to approve the plan or adopt the plan, and that will be our guidelines to move into the future with the improvements to this facility. Any questions?
Russ,
Joe, how long is the report good for once we receive it?
Well, the report should be, I don't think there is a time frame as long as it's current. And by current, I mean, if we have we're like at 1.2 million gallons right now a day, and our design is 2 million gallons or 2.2. And as long as we are not exceeding 80% of the capacity, then we'll still be able to operate with what we have. So, but we will be projecting when we believe we'll be in that 80% range. And so we have to have this plan with an outline of improvements so that we do not get within that 80%. And I think I've mentioned to you guys before, well, maybe not all of it, I remember all was here then, but if we do get up to 80% and we're unable to keep up with the flows, then ecology could put a mandate on Selah that will prohibit any future approvals of subdivisions or building permits to be issued. So.
Kevin, I move to approve the resolution authorizing the contract with HLA.
Second.
okay, we have a motion to approve by Kevin, a second by Roger. Roll call, Monica?
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Peterson,
Yes.
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Costello,
Yes.
Councilman Carlson,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Henning,
All right, well, thank you. This is item N3, proposing a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign task order 2021-03 between the city of Selah and HLA Engineering Land Surveying to provide engineering design services for the Natchez Avenue sidewalk improvements. I don't know, for a number of years now, we've cut out and patched and smoothed out cracks and humps and bumps and along Natchez in front of various businesses. And And Mr. Wayman has gone out and we've showed him some of these items. And so he has asked that we put together a project to replace the sidewalk. So what I'm proposing is to go from 823 or the Weenass Road to 2nd Street, which is the street just west of the old fire station. There is Selah Tile now, and to replace the sidewalks on the north and south side of Natchez Avenue, with the exceptions of the work that we did last fall. So another issue has been that the parking stalls from Weenass or 823 to North First Street on the north side of the road are short. And so you see a lot of vehicles when they park there, they put their right tire or their right tire up on the sidewalk, or they stick out on the road and people drive around them. So what I want to do is take that curb and remove it and reinstall a new curb and gutter with a sidewalk that will be 2 foot less in width. So we go between 10 and almost 12 feet in spots. So we'd like to go down to like a 9. And that way I can add an additional 2 feet to those parking stalls and try to keep those bumpers from being out in the travel lane like it is. So that will be part of the project. And the rest of it is, like I say, replace the sidewalk, except for what we did last year in front of the Liberty Building and over in front of Pingree's. So the cost, I think that was on here. Was 250,000, 300,000, and trying to get the money together this year was a little tough, but we believe we can scrape it together by next year. So what I'd like to do is get the design done and get the project ad out and try to get a contractor on hook by the end of the year or the first part of next year, and then go to construction. And we kept the cost down as much as we could on this project. The city Public Works will do most of the inspections. The contractor will be required to do some of the concrete testing, and Huber C. Loman or HLA Engineering will do the oversight on the required prevailing wage paperwork and the L&I requirements, and with the I forget the other office, the state office that does the it skips me right now, but anyway, they'll do that paperwork, but we'll do most of the inspections. There is some money in there in case we run into some snags. We need to have the engineer come out to review solutions to any potential problems we might run into. And there could be some. They're just an old part of town. Who knows what we'll find once we start digging things up. So anyway, the cost of this is $51,100. That covers all 3 phases: design and construction, inspection, and the administration portion of that. So I'm asking to motion to approve.
So if I could add, Joe, for the council, I'm far more optimistic with our budget on this particular project when we get into the beginning of next year. In the spring, we should have a running start on this, have enough money to do this project, and I believe even more sidewalk and crack seal work to get done for next year. So what this does, it gives us a head start, a running start. In the next year, we'll have our design knocked out, and we'll be ready to get bids, accept bids, and get started as soon as we can start getting concrete.
Jackie?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign task order 2021-03 between the city of Selah and HLA Engineering and Land Surveying.
I second
Thank
that.
you.
Kevin, I'll second.
Thank you, Kevin. We have a motion to approve by Jackie, a second by Kevin. Roll call, Monica?
The Mayor, Mr. Peterson has a question.
I'm sorry, somebody, I didn't catch what somebody just said.
Mr. Peterson had his hand up.
Okay, Cliff,
I just want a clarification on the financial impact. It's 51,000. And then when we look at the map and the chart, the construction, the only thing that is 330,000. The only thing that we're approving right now is the design. Is that correct?
yes.
Yes,
The task order will do the design, and it also approves the construction inspection and, I can say, the administration portion of it. But those last two phases, the construction and administration portion, won't happen until we actually award a contract. But this task order is to do all that. And so once we get the design done, then we will go out and seek proposals from contractors, and then council will be asked to award a contract to whoever is probably the low bid on that project, which will be next.
we will have this in next year's budget, as Joe says.
That answer your question, Cliff?
Yeah, that's the way I understood it. I just wanted to make sure that it was clarified in my mind.
All right, thank you. So we have the motion to approve by Jackie, the second by Kevin. Roll call, Monica?
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Peterson,
Yes.
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Costello,
Yes.
Councilman Carlson,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for supporting both those measures.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Resolution in 4, Mr. Schwab.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Action item N4 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a facility use agreement between the city of Selah and the Greater Yakima Girls Softball Association for Carlin Park. So we've had this contract with them for the better part of 20 years. Really, the biggest changes that we've added are just updated pricing that they've been paying for the last couple of years. And some, we got rid of, GYGSA is no longer doing the concession stands. That's been outsourced to a different entity. So, they bring a lot of people into our town between March and October every year. So really, I'm looking for approval that the mayor can sign this agreement again for another term of 5 years with GYGSA.
Thank you, Zach.
Yep.
Russ?
Hey, Zach, I'm just curious on one item on the payments on the field prep. Is there a reason why the 2 high school fields cost more money to prep than the rest of the fields?
Well, they're not our fields.
Okay.
So I guess I don't have a concrete answer for you. Those 2 fields have always cost more to prep than Carlin Park's fields. So we just increase the pricing as it always has.
But they cost more. What's the cost? And that the $35 doesn't cover.
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. Teresa might have a better knowledge on why the high school fields have been more.
I'm here. I'm happy to, but I'm sure Ty can as well. He'll probably say the same thing. I'm going
Ty.
to.
Can you hear me, Russ?
Yes, sir.
Those fields are on the high school's property, and
we have to haul all our equipment over there. It just takes longer to set up and process it and get those fields prepped. It's not as convenient as being on our own property.
So the bottom line, Russ, is more man hours to do those.
Yeah, it takes longer and more time.
Thanks, Ty.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Kevin, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the agreement with the Greater Yakima Girls Softball Association.
Thank you, Kevin.
Second.
Roger, you had your hand up. Are you seconding?
Seconding.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve by Kevin, a second by Roger. Roll call, Monica?
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Peterson,
yes,
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Costello,
Yes.
Councilman Carlson,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution N5, Mr. Wayman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This particular resolution authorizes the mayor to sign an agreement with EIP Holdings to a cell tower site located at 1303 Goodlander Road. That's up on West Goodlander near the water tank there. It's very prominent. There's a number of cell companies using that site at this point. We were contacted by this particular EIP Holdings with an offer to reserve their right to take over both the ground lease and easement rights to this site in 2027 when US Cellular, when their lease ends. And their offer was interesting. As you can see, they wish to provide the city an additional $1,000 on top of what we received from US Cellular each month until the year 2027, in which case they take over the lease and they would take over payments at $18,000 a year or 50% of the gross revenue generated by the site going forward. And Jackie Matson caught this earlier, and I really thank you, Jackie, for bringing this up. Our current contract with US Cellular reads $350 per month with a 4% increase. And where we're at right now with that monthly outlay from US Cellular or revenue is $862 a month is what we receive, not $350. And that increases at 4% per year. So we went back and forth. Our city attorney and I went back and forth with the offer and EIP and discussed that with them. And I think we got a pretty good deal going forward with this particular outfit. And it secures this site and the profits that are generated from this site with an equal share with EIP going forward in the out years. We tried to contact US Cellular and get them to have an opportunity to counter this particular bid, but they were not interested and did not answer our inquiries or requests to discuss. So here we have an offer that we believe the benefit of this would go to the Water Reserve Fund. We picked this particular fund, and the council or the finance committee could choose to do something else with this if they wish. But since it is on property where the water reservoir is, we thought this would be a very appropriate place to put the additional funds. Unless I have any other questions, my presentation.
Thank you, Don. Jackie?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that the council authorizes the mayor to sign the proposed agreement.
Thank you, Jackie.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded? Cliff. So we have a motion to approve by Jackie, a second by Cliff. Roll call, Monica?
Councilman Wickenhagen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Peterson,
Yes.
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Costello,
Yes.
Councilman Carlson,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, reports and announcements. Let's start with Chief Lang.
Hello, Madam Mayor, can you hear me?
I can.
All right. So I guess my report starts with our training. Our new recruits have completed their live fire training last Saturday, and they're almost done with recruit school. So we're happy to announce that I believe there's 15 total in recruit school. 4 of them are Natchez firefighters that have joined our class again this year. And we're just working hard on figuring out where everything is in the new position. Other than that, since nobody else has been able to be introduced to our new deputy chief, I believe he's on here also. I'd like to introduce the council to Mickey Gilly. And Mickey, would you like to say hi?
Madam Mayor, council members, and everyone in attendance, hi. Thank you so much for the warm welcome to everybody that's had a chance to meet me. Incredibly excited to be a part of Selah Fire Department as well as the city of Selah. Things have been fantastic so far. We actually had the opportunity to move into Selah fairly quick in a competitive housing market. And we got my daughter registered in school. So things are going quite well. I just want to extend an invitation to anybody once COVID regulations kind of subside. You're more than welcome to stop by the office, fire station, find out a little about me, and hopefully I'll find out a little bit about you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you and welcome. We do need to change your name on here because you're on Chief Lang right now.
I'll keep it that way.
You want to?
No, I see it.
That way you can blame things on him, right?
That's right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, everybody.
Thanks. Anything else, Chief Lang?
No, Mayor, I believe that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Chief Chrisman.
Yes, I'm still here. Well, I wanted to tell you all that we were able to get our 2 entry-level police officer recruits into the May 5th Academy. It was kind of just slid under the line there. They were filling up fast, but we got them through the process. And so they will be starting May 5th. They actually physically start May 1st, and we'll have them here at the station doing some orientation, getting them updated with our policy and procedure, make sure they're outfitted for the academy. And then, like I say, they start the academy on the 5th of May, and I think they graduate sometime in September. The academy is normally a 6-month academy, but because of COVID, they've reduced the length of the academy. And so we'll be getting them back after 4 months, but that also means that we're going to have to be doing some additional training with them here at the PD with regards to some of the hands-on things that they're not doing over on the west side, defensive tactics, some firearms training, and potentially some driving training, EVOC, the emergency vehicle operation training. So we got our hands full. Also, if you haven't heard, Nick Singletary is returning to our rank. He left the city a few months back, just prior to my arrival. And so he'll be the 3rd person in, actually it'll be the 1st person in, because we don't have to send him back through the academy. So that's a good thing. Save us a little money, and we have all of his equipment still. So he'll be starting here around May 1st as well. So we're starting to fill the holes that existed here, and happy to do that, and get some relief for the rest of the officers here who've been working hard to cover this schedule. Other than that, just working on the construction committee with Roger and Cliff and Mike, and enjoying that process very much too. So If I can answer any questions for you during the week, don't hesitate to give me a call. I'll be here, and have a great night.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Henney?
Yes, thank you. Oh, we were trying to get some crosswalks and parking stalls painted. Wind's been kind of keeping us shut down, but we've done some. You've probably seen some around town. Working on irrigation, getting the check valves in, the meters back in along First Street and the parks. Mr. Jeff Fortner has been getting busier with building inspections. It seems to be picking up. Mr. Peters has he's got a short plat off Goodlander Road up there by Goodlander Drive, and in fact, Ty submitted comments to him, I think Friday on that. The school district's starting to do their utilities up on the John Campbell site, and that should get into swing here pretty soon. Especially with schools out, they're going to start going on Third, North Third, and Bartlett, and they'll get probably putting in that traffic signal. I think that may not go until next year. I can't remember, but say other than that, we're just summer's coming, so we're just trying to get things ready.
All right, thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Have I missed anybody on here for the staff?
Zach?
So, Zach, sorry.
So we wrapped up interviews for the recreation coordinator position today. Hoping to have a decision made in the next couple of days and get somebody in this office to help out with the mountain of things we have to do. Hopefully the first part of May. Hot Rods on First Street, June 19th, 9 to 3. If you or know somebody, or you know somebody who has a car, send them my way. We'll get them hooked up. Otherwise, it's business as usual around here.
Thank you, Zach. Okay, council members. Kevin.
I have an announcement from the Yakima Valley Tourism. There is a grant available. It's for agritourism businesses. The Department of Commerce has has $15,000 in grant money available. So if there's any businesses in Selah that qualify as agritourism, they can apply. The application period opened on the 9th, but it runs through the 26th of this month. And if they have any questions, they can go to the Department of Commerce grants. It's commercegrants.com. And if they are interested to apply, that's where they would go. Other than that, the only other things are starting to pick up as far as tourism goes. Outlets are looking, or the personal outlook on traveling is improving, and some of the places are opening up. Sozo is going to hold some additional races to bring in some more people. So finally, things are starting to look a little more cheery than they did last year. Thank you.
That's always good news. Cliff.
It's been a while since I mentioned anything about mental health. That I was reading an article recently. There was an online survey by one of the national mental health organizations that they found that one in 5 American adults have serious mental health issues sometime in their life, and that one of the online surveys that they did, they found that past traumatic experiences that we think of often as being a major factor in depression and anxiety was actually the second most cited cause of depression and anxiety, and that loneliness was by number one reason. And that's something that we can all do, is to just reach out to our friends and neighbors and families and just ask them how they're doing. And if you're feeling lonely, and I forgot to bring the phone number, that there is a non-crisis phone number, Washington Talks, that if you just need some added support, that you can reach out to there or reach out to your clergy or medical professionals that we hear frequently. Turn on the news and there's a crisis here and crisis here. But when you have 1 in 5 people that suffer a mental health crisis, to me, that sounds pretty critical. And there are things that we can do just as individuals.
So true, Cliff. Thank you. Roger?
Yes, I'm sorry. The SPRSA has a cleanup day if anyone cares to participate this Sunday, 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock to finalize cleanup around the pool. And we're getting ready for an early swim season for some groups of early participants from swim teams of some of the area high schools. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Roger. Russ?
No report.
Michael?
No report.
Okay, thank you. Jackie?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. During the last Chamber of Commerce meeting, general meeting, there was a speaker, Danielle Fleming, who is the Selah Community Coalition Coordinator. She gave a talk on the Community Coalition's mission and their goals, and also about some drug and alcohol information for our younger people. So it was a very good speaker. She did a very good job. That is my report, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Suzanne?
I have no report.
Thank you. Mr. Case?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Council members, be watching your email inboxes. You'll be getting something from me soon on the pending state lawsuit. It's some discovery requests that we will need to work on. I said soon. I hope to get it to you by the end of the weekend or end of the week, which means I'll probably get it to you next week because I'm sure I'll probably get too busy to finish it this week. Famous last words. So that's that. The federal lawsuit that is pending. I'm obviously not going to say much here in open company, but I will let you know a trial date's been assigned. It's an easy date to remember because it's Valentine's Day next year. Whether that date actually happens or in lawyer speak goes out will remain to be seen. There's a lot of twists and turns between now and then. Other than that, there's really nothing to report publicly on the federal lawsuit other than our opponent's Perkins Coie is now 13 days running past due on their initial disclosure deadline. And I think my co-counsel and I will be following up with them tomorrow on why they're dilatory. The sign ordinance, as you know, is still working its way through the system, potential amendment of it. The Planning Commission, the city planner, Jeff Peters, and myself have worked on a couple of drafts. I think we're now to the point of just making some final tweaks and correcting typos here and there, which happens when you have a multi-page document. There will be at least a couple of more steps before it's brought before you, or really if it's brought before you as a council. I think it will be brought before you, but there will be a SEPA review process. There may also be a public hearing at the Planning Commission. But I just want to let you know, to be putting that in the back of your minds, that an updated sign ordinance will be forthcoming at some point soon. And that does have some relation to the federal lawsuit, but frankly, the sign ordinance needed to be updated anyway. And I think that's the sum total of what I can give in a open air public report.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wayman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the county commissioners approved the interlocal agreement with the city of Selah on the Selah Parks and Recreation Service Area board, or appointees that for the board. So we're moving forward. We have 2 empty seats. I know the mayor's working on filling those, and she may have more to say about this in a minute. Additionally, Mr. Henney has been, and Mr. Novobelsky have been working pretty hard on getting the money lined up to pay for the sewer collection project, the big one we had scheduled for this year. Now, it is going to be based on a USDA loan. And if that loan gets approved by USDA in a timely manner, we may be able to get started on that project this year. There's a good possibility that we're looking at it being pushed over to next year. But we should be finding out within the next, 3 weeks, Joe?
Yes, it should be. Today I got another request from Washington DOT. Now they want a surety bond from us to guarantee that we will fix any and all damages, I guess you could say, to the state highway. And they asked some other insurance questions from us. So we're working on it.
Bottom line is we have some obstacles we're trying to get by. And as you all know, time works against us when it comes to getting projects finished through the season, through the summer season, and then through the fall. Part of the complication on this is that a good portion of the project is going to be undertaken on the treetop property, and we don't want to interfere with their operations during harvest. So we're going to be sensitive to that, as well as the seasonal changes in the cold weather. I also want to personally thank one of our former council members who is currently serving in the state house. He's doing a great job for us. I'm having a blank on his name, Sherry. Jeremy Defoe. Jeremy Defoe is really swinging hard for us. He's been working with Senator Honeyford, and Senator Honeyford is working for us as well. And without letting the cat out of the bag, they're really working hard for Selah, and hopefully we'll see some results by the end of April. And if you get a chance to see them, thank them for all their work. They're doing a great job. All I have.
Thank you. So just kind of go back to seating somebody on the SPRSA board. As everybody knows, it's hard to get anybody to step up to volunteer their time and be involved. We put an ad out last Friday on the city website, just a notice saying that we were looking for 2 people, and it's It's only been a few days, but we have heard nothing. The people that I have talked to, they're either too busy or they're not interested. So if you know of somebody out there who wants to be involved, who cares about the pool and our city, please send them my way. To a reminder that next Tuesday night is our Jurassic Park Parliament training, 5:30 to 7:30. This is open to the public, and the information on this will be put on our city website on how to sign into the meeting. Also for council, please stop by City Hall by Friday to sign the paperwork so that Monica can close up the processing of tonight's meeting. And with that, have a great week. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Russ has
Second.
moved to Russ has moved to adjourn. Cliff has second. Is that correct, Cliff? It's hard for me to see tonight for some reason. I don't know if it's a bright sun shining in. So if I missed any hands tonight, I'm sorry. So we have a motion to adjourn by Russ, a second by Cliff. All those in favor? And opposed? Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.